Welcome to Sunday Morning Quarterback with Jay Stockwell and Bob Frady.
Welcome to Sunday Morning Quarterback. I'm Jay Stockwell.
I'm Bob Frady.
And I'm George Stockwell.
The win, boys. The Taylor Swift Bowl victory. And the single most impressive thing about it is we now have a kicker. Kyle Cunanan. Two field goals, one from 52 yards, clutch all the way around. We'd have lost that game last year, Bob Frady.
Okay. I think that I'm wearing black shirts in honor of the interception, but I'm still not clear offensively and defensively because this was a big question mark game for both teams, both Cincinnati and Nebraska. And I think that those question marks are still as big as ever and won't be resolved for a little while. This game did nothing to resolve the question marks. However, you're right. They would have lost this game a couple of years ago. They would have been the ones to throw the interception. And it's good to see the team pull out a close victory. And it's also nice to see them to get a victory over an FBS team, the first since 2003, opening up. So, George, what's your take?
Look, I gotta be honest, we did not play great. It was interesting. Dylan Raiola didn't look good on TV, but he still threw 80% completion, 33 for 42. He didn't look terrible, but he also didn't look amazing. So I think there's a lot to clean up. The one biggest problem I saw is our defensive line and rushing. We literally had 0 sacks, little to no pressure, and Brendan Soresby could just walk around back
gashed
there.
us for 6.7 yards per carry in the rushing game.
200
yards.
Let's start with the offense. What did you see, Jay?
Okay, I agree with George. Dylan, I think, had a pretty solid outing. They're not talking Heisman or anything, but he was 33, 42, and 1, 79% completions. I thought he managed the game well. I thought he had a lot of poise. And generally, I think it's like an A- for Dylan. Emmitt Johnson, very impressed with him and his 108 yards going north and south pretty well. Ball security was good the whole game. I felt like Holgerson could have opened up the playbook a little bit more down the field with Dane Key and some of the other guys. But the plays, they made plays. Dane Key had that critical touchdown on 4th down. So generally, I'd give the offense some pretty good marks. And there was good push on the line. And again, we only averaged 3.1 per carry, but we did have our guy Emmitt Johnson go for 108 yards. So I was pleased with that.
George, what'd you see?
Look, I almost agree a little bit with you, Dad. But I think the one big problem is Dana Holgerson was super conservative. I mean, he was really conservative. We had a decent rush attack, but I mean, you didn't see Raiola throw any ball further than 20 yards in a singular play. And that kind of really held us back from doing well. And I mean, we let up a few sacks, which was rough, but not terrible. I think that we could definitely hold on to that. The big difference between this and Scott Frost era or year 1 Matt Rule is that we didn't have any turnovers, no turnovers, which was amazing. We had the one where Raiola fumbled, but he got it back. So we definitely won the turnover battle, which is something we did not see a lot in the past. So not mad with the offense at all. What do you think, Uncle Bob? What do you see?
Well, I'm confused. That what I saw is confusion. I think the one thing that every Husker fan wants the Huskers to do is 4 yards in a cloud of dust. Run the ball. Run it right down their throats. And that's exactly what they were doing. And then they kept getting away from it. The other backs would come in and they would, do sprints out to the side. It's like, come on. You're having success going right down their throats. Keep doing it until they prove that they can stop it because it opens up the play action pass. I don't think I saw one play action pass. Now I'd have to go back and watch the game again, and I'm not going to do that. But I don't remember seeing one. And it's like I didn't see any wheel routes, or I didn't see any, good passes to the backs that get set up off the good run game. And I was like, why are they trying to manage this game so conservatively? So didn't love the the structure of the play calling. I mean, but the time of possession, they 39-21. It's like they held the ball a long time without enough to show for it. So, hey, win's a win, take it. But I thought Emmitt Johnson was a bell cow back, and just keep pumping it right up the middle, just right down their throats. And nothing more disheartening to a team than getting run over up front.
I'll tell you the group that gets an A+ is the special teams.
Hold on, we're not onto that yet. We're still on the offense.
Okay.
Offense, defense, special teams. So
let me add on to you, Uncle Bob, talking about the run attack versus the pass attack. I totally agree with you, and I think that it solid throughout the game. But that last drive when we were up 3 points and we had like 8 minutes left, we did a really good job of slowly getting first downs and slowly getting the ball down the field. And then first down, and we're just at the 50-yard line, 40-yard line. We are almost in field goal range. And then we throw 3 passes in a row and get 2 plays for a loss of yards. We did an incomplete pass, and then the second one was that really weird reverse play where we lost 4 yards. Next play, Raiola gets sacked, and it changes the game from us going for a field goal and forcing them to have to take a touchdown to punting the ball. And thank God our defense helped us out, but still, I mean, that was a big problem.
like, if I know I'm going to run the ball and you know I'm going to run the ball and I'm still successful, then I'm going to keep running the football. And I don't understand why coaches, because this is the same complaint I had with Satterfield. It's like, run the ball. It's you got refrigerators on the line, and a good back. Run the ball. And I'm not sure why offensive coordinators have such a problem with such a simplistic way to play the game, because that simplistic way to play the game is what won you the game. All right.
So
defense.
Hold on, one more thing.
Oh.
Another positive for the offense. There was only 3 penalties for 27 yards. They had 4 for 20, so it was a lightly penalized game. Thank God for the crew letting them play. But that was another bright spot. No, like pretty disciplined on in terms of procedure penalties and the like. All right, let's move on to defense here.
George, what'd you see?
On defense, I was just going to say on offense, one of the penalties that should have been taken back is Latovsky shoving that dude over, and it's like, the refs, that was a flop. That was a flop. The guy just like fell over after a light push.
He did push him, but I do agree. It's nonsense.
Well, it's football. You should be pushing each other around. So come on.
Yeah, exactly. But so two penalties plus one bad call. So yeah, but defense, I think that we have no pressure on the quarterback, and I don't think Cincinnati has a great offensive line. I think that was our biggest problem. But Soresby is a really solid running quarterback, and he has poise. And if he sees pressure, he does move out of the way. We were really close to getting him probably 5 to 10 times, but it just didn't happen. So I think that was a problem. But as I pointed out last week, our defensive backs and cornerbacks played really well. Other than a couple mishaps, we didn't play. We held them for under 100 yards of passing, and we had a game-winning interception. So I'm really happy.
You could argue, though, that was a huge mistake by their coach. I mean, they were in field goal range, could have tied the game.
Yeah, it was not a great. It was not a
lazy jump ball pass. So that was an error.
You could argue that, but you could also argue he's trying to win the game. God bless him for the effort. He's on the road, hostile crowd, has a chance to take they're getting run over, so you're thinking they're going to roll people up, and he tries to go over the top and just, great play.
Yeah, and that was not an easy catch by Malcolm Hartzog. That was a very
move, no
impressive.
That's the kind of catch where you have it, and you're like, because you get the wind knocked out if you land in like.
Last year that went right over the outstretched fingers of the defense into the arms of the opponent into the air for touchdown.
Or a tip or something.
Here's a picture of it right here. And just a really athletic play.
It's like Nebraska fans have gotten so used to getting kicked in the nuts with weird endings that everyone's like, well, why didn't the weird ending happen to us? It's like, take the win. was good.
So we gotta credit where credit is due. Mike Eckler, the special teams coach. This is
Hold on, we're still on defense. We're still on defense.
Still on
Jeez, I know
Come
you.
on.
You really want to pump up the special teams. You're like, I'm ready. We're still on defense. So here's something I wonder about defense. I wonder whether they knew that they could shut down their passing game and just did everything to blanket the receivers and let them have the run because they knew they couldn't throw. And so it could have been that type of defensive game plan where they weren't trying to get directly after the quarterback, but they would get him on coverage sacks. Now, he broke out of those and ran. He was their most effective running option, which doesn't necessarily portend well for your Big Ten future, but it is, it could have been part of the game plan to just shell and cover and give up all the underneath stuff and ride the game to victory. And listen, they won. So whatever the game plan was,
I
it
would
worked.
love to think that, but I guarantee the game plan wasn't to give up 202 yards and let our defensive line is just smaller. They're supposedly more athletic, but they have pushed around pretty good in this game. So we got to work on that.
I don't worry too much when it's the quarterback getting half of those yards because a lot of those are just panic scrambles, and you've got coverage gaps, and he takes off, and so
yeah, but
it's okay.
I'm sorry, but it's so preventable when they're only getting big clutch plays off of the quarterback running, and all John Butler has to do is put a middle linebacker in the middle of the field and just let him watch the quarterback because we weren't getting any pressure. So take a guy off, put him in the middle, watch the quarterback, and you have a spy. That's what we should have done on defense.
I'd use an extra safety because they're faster, but you could use a linebacker. But yeah, get a spy out there.
Yeah, because then he can make the tackle right there instead of a safety way back, letting him get 10, 20
so
yards.
far it seems like the offense gets a B plus, the defense gets a B minus C plus. Is that accurate?
I think that's about right. But
now, Jay, did any fake this game get an A?
Yes, the special teams got an A plus.
Did you want to talk about special teams? I had no idea you want to talk about special teams.
It's a pain point, Bob, in this phalanx of one-loss games we've had over the years, and now it seems like we finally got a coach that understands how to coach this stuff, and we got the players that can execute. I really hope this Kyle Cunanan is not just a flash in the pan. I'm hoping he is. I mean, 2 for 2 on the extra points, 2 for 2 on the field goals. Next to Malcolm Hartzog, probably the MVP of the game.
I would say the MVP of the game on the special team side was the punter.
Archie Wilson put it within the 10-yard line within the most important
and he punted with both legs. He punted 2 with his left and 1 with his right, which is kind of cool.
Also,
Bob said during the game, I'm going to try to punt with both legs at the same time.
They call it the dolphin kick.
So anything else on the special teams? I mean,
yeah. Are we not going to talk about Ja'Cory Barney literally catching every punt? That's not super impressive, but that's also something that you don't get all the time with Nebraska. You know how many muffed punts we've had in the last 5 years? That was beautiful to watch, and that made me really happy. And we also didn't have a block punt, so just no mistakes overall in terms of turnovers offensively and in special teams, which is really important. So because we kind of been beating ourselves the last 5 or 6 years, so pretty solid.
There was a little controversy though at the Taylor Swift Bowl. The University of Nebraska Sports Information Department posted a doctored photo of Herbie Husker in the embrace of Taylor Swift as a replacing Travis Kelce in their engagement photo. It was quickly taken down after the Swiftie world massively issued some pretty tight backlash against Nebraska.
Don't mess with the Swifties, man. That's some serious business if you're messing with the Swifties. But I will say this: if that's the kind of thing that activates you, get a friggin' hobby. Like, come on. It's like, come on. Because Jake, back up just a little bit. Back up just a little bit so we can see Herbie Husker on your shirt right there.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think if you just colored his hair brown, he'd look just like Travis Kelce. It would be hard to tell them apart. So what's the big deal?
Lawrence, I sent you a copy of that photo, so make sure you put it on the screen when you get.
Really? This is social media. I don't.
Put that on
Yeah.
the thumbnails. Let's go.
So Bob, we've had quite the week here. On Thursday, obviously, was the game. We were very excited about that. But then Friday, you're going to have to indulge me a second. I realize this is a football podcast, but we had the Bunderman Open, which I thought was a huge success. For those of you who don't know, Andrew Bunderman's a decorated Army officer from the Battle of Kamdesh, featured in the movie The Outpost. Highly, highly recommend you watch it. I met him 4.5 years ago after watching the movie and seeing a Minnesota hat on him. I knew he had to be a ROTC guy. I looked him up, sent him an email via LinkedIn. We played golf, and since then we've been running the Bunderman Open. And this year, we did a little special philanthropic effort to honor all of the fallen from the battle, and every golfer was assigned, and people showed up, had a great time. And
we've raised over $1,000, and we've raised over $1,000 for the Wounded Warrior Project so far.
Well, it's more than that. Yeah, it's more like 3,000 so far.
So we've raised $3,000 for the Wounded Warrior Project from donations from people participating. So we're very happy and honored to be able to do that. But what's the best news about that golf tournament, Jay Stockwell?
In a shocking turn of events, and this will never ever be said again. It was a handicapped adjusted event, and Bob just so happens to have a 22 handicap. But Bob played above average, and actually won the individual. He was the medalist for the Bunderman Open for 2025, and everybody nearly fell out of their chairs at the same time when that was announced,
including my wife, who was like, "You won? Really? You won?" I'm like, yeah. You know, I listen. All you guys just fell apart on the back. That's all that happened. It's like I saw all the circles on your scorecard. It's like it's like you fell apart on the back. You got a little overserved, I think, somewhere around the 12th hole. We had some great guests at the Bunderman Open, including an NFL Hall of Famer who we can't mention by name because of his connection to the NCAA, but had a great turnout. And as we said, we were able to raise almost $3,000 for the Wounded Warrior Project. If any of our listeners want to donate, you're always welcome to, or to donate to your favorite charity. It's good to give a little money back.
Look up the Battle of Kamdesh on Wikipedia and watch the movie The Outpost. Great story.
And we did decide that movie Bunderman is more attractive than real life Bunderman.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. not a heavy lift, but
hey, he's okay. He's a good Minnesota 7. So
he's a great guy, and we had a great time. So
okay, now the last bit, we've done offense, we've done defense, we've done special teams. The last piece, coaching.
Yeah, I think I was generally pretty pleased this time. We've got two coordinators that clearly Matt Rule believes in, and I don't there weren't any clock management gaffes. Just a little conservative on the offensive front, so I'd give them a high B plus for this outing.
George,
I agree. I think we were really conservative. I mean, Dylan Raiola can throw it 60 yards, 70 yards. So why not let him throw? Why not give him play action play calls like you were saying, Uncle Bob? I want to see more play action. I want to see when you get in those 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3 opportunities, you always hear the announcers say that's the opportunity to shoot because you still have 3rd and maybe 4th down to go for it. So why not take a shot when we have those short 2nd down plays? And I think we'll see that a lot next week versus Akron. It'll be interesting to see that. So I agree with Jay. We just need to be a little less conservative on the offense. I thought defense.
I would give the coaching a B- for 2 reasons. Number one, too conservative on offense. And listen, maybe that's personnel. Maybe it's personnel driven. These guys live with it every day, and we just watch it. but I thought it was a little conservative from a play calling standpoint. And then B, on the defensive line side, it's like you got to do something. You either got to put in an extra rusher, or you got to go light and put in an extra linebacker to try to stop that run. And as soon as they went hurry up, that's when everything kind of went south. They were doing fine until the hurry up came in, and you gotta coach that up. So I would say I'd say a B minus, but still they got the win. They got the win, and that's the happy day. It's
And
a
so
happy day.
with the upcoming schedule, Akron and Houston Christian, it's looking very likely that we'll be 3-0 heading into Michigan.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's enjoy. This is a game recap. That we're no looking forward. We're just looking at this game.
All right, we'll be
And
back
it's
Tuesday.
keeping you guys on policies. Like, come on,
We'll be back
recap.
on Tuesday with our preview of the Akron game. So why don't you take us out, Bob, for a really good win?
Go Big Red!
Go Big Red!
Go Big Red!